Golden Radio Hour.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Sure make a smooth whiskey sour on this train.
Another one, sir?
Sure, make it a double.
Coming right up. And you, sir?
No thanks.
Very good.
What's the matter, Olson? You on the wagon?
We're not supposed to drink on duty.
Are we on duty?
Till the shipment gets to Fort Knox, we are.
Oh, what do we do in the meantime?
Guard it. That's the general idea.
What's to guard? Gold's locked in the freight car and we're in the middle of the desert. Time to take a nap.
You never know.
Know what?
What can happen when you're sleeping?
Didn't your mother tell you?
What's my mother got to do with it?
You go to sleep, and when you wake up, you're safe and snug in your bed. The world's just like you left it. Nothing changes. Trust me.
Long as nobody tries to rob the train.
Nobody knows what's on this train except us. All we have to do is file a report. One in L.A., one at the other end. In between, we got 2 days. Easiest duty I ever pulled.
Here's that drink, sir.
Thanks.
We should get some chow.
One question.
Yeah?
Are you two cops?
Of course not.
Well, that bulge under your coat, are you packing heat?
Well, if you really want to know, I'm Special Agent Martin. And this is my prisoner, Mr. Olson. I'm transporting him across country to Leavenworth.
So that's why he doesn't get a drink. But why does he have the bulge under his coat?
Cell phone.
Oh, I get it.
Go ahead, give him one. Take the edge off so I can relax.
That's all right.
Well, if he doesn't drink it, I will.
Coming right up.
You just blew our cover.
Take it easy.
So you're not carrying your weapon?
Nope. Left it in the compartment.
That's against regulations.
Well, it wrecks the cut of my suit. Besides, it's not like I'm gonna need it.
Here's his drink.
How much I owe you?
Nothing. It's all in the house.
You're a good citizen, pal.
Anything I can do to help.
Now, just let me sample it for Mr. Olson here. Whoa. Now that's a drink.
What's happening?
Must be the tracks. Hold on!
Olson, you okay?
My arm's pinned. Here, take the gun.
I can't reach it.
Some kind of gas. Hold your breath.
Give me the gun.
Keep your gas masks on. Watch it, Brooks. That one's on.
He was. I can't see.
Where's the gold? In the freight car. Go on through.
What do we do with the passengers?
Let them sleep. By the time they wake up, gentlemen, we'll be miles away. Many miles and many, many years.
Exit 2 hapless federal agents and enter 4 experts in the questionable art of crime. Mr. Farwell, expert with noxious gases, former professor with a doctorate in both chemistry and physics. Mr. Airbay, expert in mechanical engineering. Mr. Brooks, expert in firearms and other weaponry. And Mr. DeCruz, expert in demolition and various forms of destruction. The time is now. The place? Death Valley, USA, where at this moment a train has just been derailed and nearly $10 million in gold bullion en route to Fort Knox, Kentucky, is about to be commandeered by these 4. The question is, how can they escape in the middle of a desert? The answer is, they don't plan to escape, not in the conventional sense, Nor will they turn their take into cold cash, at least not in the span of a normal lifetime. What they have in mind is something truly bizarre. They believe that 113 miles from this ruined railroad track is a certain cave that holds the key to their survival. What they don't know, of course, is that the cave is located not only in Death Valley, but deep in the Twilight Zone.
And now, back to the Twilight Zone and The Rip Van Winkle Caper, starring Tim Kazurinsky, with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
Hurry up. Get the bags in the cave.
Here comes Farwell's car.
Clockwork, gentlemen. Just as I said.
Apples in a barrel.
So far, but we ain't spent nothing yet.
Brooks is right. $10 million worth of gold bullion, and I've still got $1.20 in my pocket.
That's this year, Senor de Cruz. Today this, but tomorrow. Tomorrow, gentlemen, like Croesus, Midas, Rockefeller, and J.P. Morgan all rolled into one. Perfection, gentlemen. That's how you performed with perfection.
Man, did you see that engineer when he hit those brakes? Looked like he thought the world was coming to an end.
Sure he did. When I blow up tracks, I blow up tracks.
Point out a foundry for me, de Cruz. I'll forge a metal for you.
What's your trouble, Brooks? That wasn't an easy thing, tying up those tracks like that. You ought to try it sometime.
There won't be another time.
From me, neither.
May we get on to business now?
Sure, Professor. Whatever you say.
Start unloading the truck.
Well, aren't you a heavy little thing? All shiny and pretty. Any more at home like you?
Yeah, just like this one. $9,980,000 worth of gold bars. Hey, Farwell, I gotta hand it to you.
Use the cart.
I mean, the plan. It worked just like you said it would.
Oh, you sound surprised.
You're one smart guy. Freight car full of gold. Train derailed. Sleeping gas puts everybody out except us because of our gas masks. Mighty sweet if you ask me.
That's right, Mr. Irby, except us. It was not yet our turn to sleep. It was our turn to enrich ourselves.
We sure did that, didn't we?
There's all the bags.
All right, gentlemen. Do you remember the procedure?
I'm sure you're gonna remind us.
The procedure is as follows. Gold into the cave. Then Mr. de Cruz hides the truck inside, destroys the car.
I never liked that part.
For what reason?
Well, somebody could see the fire.
Impossible. The road is miles away.
A plane could fly over.
By then, all they will see is sagebrush and sand. Clear?
Man, I wouldn't have even seen a cave if I didn't know it was there. If you didn't tell us where it was.
No one would. That's because it's perfectly camouflaged. The opening fitted with a reinforced door, and the door designed to match the cliff face. And now?
I better give you a hand, Professor.
Yeah, let me do it.
Oh, all right then. Open sesame!
How much farther?
We're almost to the main cavern. Stop here.
Hand me the flashlight.
Wow. How'd you ever find this place, Professor?
One of my colleagues at the university, a devoted spelunker.
A what?
Who cares? Let's get this over with.
In a hurry, Mr. de Cruz.
Sure I am. I drove the truck in, got rid of the car like you said. We've done our part. Pretty soon, this whole state's gonna be crawling with cops. It's not like we got all the time in the world.
Then you may divide the gold bars.
Ooh, yeah. This is the part I like. Hooey. Look at all that. 24 karat all the way.
One for me.
Hey,
and one for you. One for Irby. One for the professor. Two for me. Two for you.
Hey, Professor, what's the first thing you're gonna buy with your share?
A new life, gentlemen. A new life.
Yeah. I like the sound of that.
A life of comfort, and leisure as befits a man of such ingenious accomplishments.
Well, you can say that again.
Finish your counting. It's time for the pièce de résistance.
Holy Jehoshaphat. Will you look at that? Is that them?
The real culmination. The ultimate ingenuity.
Yeah, they look like coffins.
Shut up.
You told us about them, but somehow I didn't know they was gonna be made out of glass.
A new type of plastic, actually, manufactured to my specifications. A completely inert material with no chemical interactions.
I don't see why we have to get inside those things, those caskets.
It's one thing to stop a train on its way from Los Angeles to Fort Knox and steal its cargo. It's quite another to remain free long enough to spend it. And spend it we shall.
Yeah, but when?
Don't you remember, Mr. De Cruz? I would have thought this aspect of the plan would be particularly clear in your mind.
I remember, all right. You want us to play Rip Van Winkle.
An appropriate analogy, I suppose.
And that's what we are. 4 Rip Van Winkles. Only, I'm not so sure.
What, aren't you sure of, Mr. De Cruz?
The big sleep, Mr. Farwell. Just lying down in these coffins. I'd like to know what I'm doing.
But you do know. I've explained it very precisely. The 4 of us will be placed in a state of suspended animation. Think of it as a protracted rest period, Mr. De Cruz, to gather our strength. And when we wake up, that's when we take our gold and enjoy it.
I say everybody should take his cut now.
And how far will we get with it?
We got a vehicle, we got water.
There'll be roadblocks.
Yeah, and that guy with the gun on the train, maybe he was a Fed. If we killed a Fed...
Not killed, put to sleep.
I'll take my own chances.
Hey, what's with the knife?
Put it away, Brooks. You're not gonna stop me.
That's what you say, De Cruz, but that ain't what we agreed on.
Quite right.
What we agreed on was that we'd stash the gold here and then do what the professor tells us. And so far, he ain't been wrong. The gold, the gas he used to put a whole trainload of people to sleep, everything. All we had to do was walk over a lot of horizontal folks while they was snoring and transfer a fortune like it was cotton candy.
Amen to that.
So, none of you mind being cooped up in here?
No, De Cruz. None of us mind.
How long, Farwell? When we each push the button inside and the gas comes out and this suspended animation thing takes over. How long?
How long? I don't know exactly. I can only surmise. I would say that we would all wake up within 1 hour of each other, no longer.
When?
I would say approximately 100 years from today's date. 100 years, gentlemen, and we shall walk the earth again as rich men, however, as extremely rich men.
100 years. Just like Rip Van Winkle.
And when we wake up, no one living will remember who we are and what we did today, except the 4 of us. We will remember and rejoice in our reward.
What's that?
The wind, gentlemen. The wind, obliterating the last traces of our existence.
What are those things on the ceiling?
Bats, Mr. De Cruz, they're quite harmless.
I hate bats.
Merely flying rodents who prey on insects.
You got a phobia about bats, De Cruz?
Of course not. I just don't like them, that's all.
Then all the more reason to proceed. Open your sleep chambers and lie down.
Wait a minute.
Quit stalling.
There's one more thing.
Yes.
The truck. How do we know it's going to start when we wake up?
Well, that's why I had you cover it so thoroughly. The engine operates on self-generating energy without gasoline or oil-based lubricants. I've prepared it in every detail.
Yeah, but what if it still doesn't start?
Then we walk to the highway and follow it for approximately 28 miles. We have more than enough water and provisions to reach any of several towns.
Enough already. I'm going in.
After you, Mr. Irby, and Mr. De Cruz.
All right. Here goes nothing.
Gentlemen, We are now hermetically sealed. First of all, I want to know if you can all hear me.
I hear you.
Mr. Irby?
Check. Loud and clear.
Then the microphones are operating perfectly.
Now what?
Now I'm going to give you the exact sequence. First, check the airlock gauge located to your right. See it?
You mean the dial?
The red arrow should be pointing towards closed and locked. Once it is, you're to count to 10 very slowly. When you come to the end of the count, reach up with your left hand to the shelf just above your head. There's a small green button there.
I see it.
You're to press this button. When that's done, you'll hear another hissing sound. That will be the gas being measured into the enclosures.
Ready over here.
Next, take 3 shallow breaths, followed by a long, deep one. After a moment, you'll begin to experience a heavy, drowsy feeling. Don't fight this. Just continue to breathe regularly and try to remain as still as possible. Now, begin to count, and on 10, release the gas. You shouldn't mind it. It's quite odorless. Good night, gentlemen. Pleasant dreams and a good sleep. I'll see you in the next century. So, the Great Awakening has come at last.
It didn't work. My face, my hands. Look at yourselves. We don't have any beards. That means...
He's right.
Of course I'm right. Our fingernails haven't even grown. Hey, Farwell, with the big brain and all the answers, your plan was a dud.
I don't understand. It was foolproof. It must have worked. Wait, yes, of course. All the bodily functions stopped. There wouldn't be any growth of beard, nails, or anything else. I tell you, it worked.
One way to make sure.
Yeah, let's have a look outside.
Put your backs into it.
Oh, the sun. It's so bright.
Cover your eyes until they adjust.
I can't see a thing.
Well. Take a look. A real good look. There's the highway out there across the sand. Same as always. Exactly the same. Doesn't that tell you something?
Like what?
It hasn't changed one bit. And neither has anything else around here.
So the highway still exists unchanged. That's no proof.
Mastermind. Big brain. So instead of 100 years, it's maybe an hour later. A lousy hour, which means every kind of cop you can think of is still after us. Thanks for nothing. A big fat zero.
You don't know that...
And all that gold in there is just so much garbage to us. Because everybody and his brother's gonna be looking for it.
Hold on. Where's Irby?
Huh?
We forgot about Irby. No.
I don't believe it.
His case. It's cracked. The air got in.
And the gas escaped. And all because of this rock.
I thought you said it was a special plastic.
Well, the rock must have fallen from high overhead.
It was those bats knocked it loose.
So it's high enough to cause a hairline crack in the structure. Yeah, here, look. Just at the edge of the frame. Poor Mr. Irby. He has proven my point, however. A dramatic example, but nonetheless, he has most definitely proven my point.
He sure did. There's nothing left inside but bones. There's his wristwatch, his ring.
On a skeleton. Hey, Farwell, how long would it take for this to happen to his body?
Autopsies are not my field of expertise, but it would take years, especially in this climate. The odds are, Mr. De Cruz, that we are now, indeed, in another century.
Just like the plan. So, what's the next step?
We get the gold in the truck and we take it to the first city we come to. And we either find a fence or we melt it down. That's the deal, isn't it?
Why is it, Mr. De Cruz, that greedy men are the most dreamless, the least imaginative, and the most stupid?
Listen, Farwell.
No, you listen to me. For the first time in the history of man, we've taken a century and put it in our hip pocket. We've taken a lease on life and outlived our stay. We've had our cake, but we're still going to eat it. That's quite an adventure out there, Mr. De Cruz, though you're a little insensitive to it. Quite a splendid adventure, a world we've never seen before. A brand new, exciting world that we're about to walk through.
Only this time with money.
That's right. With 10 million bucks worth of gold. That's how we're gonna walk through it.
Of course. The only thing left to wonder about is, what kind of world?
How's it sound?
Perfect. Leave it running.
Is she all loaded, Brooks?
All in.
Where's the water can? We have to load that too.
By the grave. Mr. Brooks kindly dug it up for us when he buried Irby.
Then I'll put it in and we can get going. You drive, Brooks. Farwell in the front seat next to you.
Where will you be?
I'll stay in the back and be sure none of the gold drops off.
Well, aren't you the most thoughtful little bugger that ever come down the pike? You stay in the back and watch the gold, huh?
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust you with the gold if it was a filling in your mother's own tooth. No, buddy boy, no. You drive, I'll ride in the back. Soon as I get the water can.
Mr. De Cruz, what are you doing? You stupid fool! Brooks,
Hey,
get out of the
watch
way!
it! What? Hey!
For the love of God, De Cruz, stop! Where are you going? You're heading toward the ravine! De Cruz? But I don't understand. I saw you drive over the edge.
You didn't see me jump out the other side before it went over.
I also see that Mr. Brooks had an accident. Is that what you'd call it?
Yeah, a fatal one. Don't know how that could have happened. Guess the truck ran over him. Those brakes, they must have been bad. A man's got to keep his eyes open out here. He should have got out of the way.
Yes, he certainly should have. And I'm sure he would have if you'd given him the chance.
Well, the upside is, I guess there's more gold now for the two of us, you and me.
I keep underestimating you, Mr. De Cruz.
We do it my way now, huh?
And which way is that?
Take all the gold we can carry in 2 backpacks and hit the road.
I suppose. I can't think of any other alternative at the moment.
You know, I sure can't either.
The obvious, the simple, idiotic, ridiculously obvious. Look, even if you hadn't wrecked it...
What?
The license plates are 100 years old. We would have been picked up the moment we hit the highway.
Yeah, that's right.
So load up what we can. It's going to be a very warm walk. Very warm.
You could always wait here till I come back for you.
No, you're quite right, Mr. De Cruz. Your point is well taken. I suggest we hit the road.
How you doing, Professor?
You hold it, De Cruz. I've got to rest.
Yeah, I figured.
The map said 28 miles to the next town. At this rate, we won't reach it until tomorrow afternoon sometime.
At this rate, you may never reach it.
No, I just have to take it a bit more slowly, that's all.
You didn't have to come. You could have stayed back there and watched the rest of the gold. I told you, Professor.
And if I had, I don't think I'd have ever seen you again.
No?
What if you died out here, alongside the highway?
Yeah, you might have died back there yourself.
Yes, especially if you never returned for whatever reason.
You think I'd have done that to you?
Well, I no longer underestimate you, De Cruz, in any situation.
Smart man, aren't you? Real smart.
But there's only 2 of us now. We must cooperate in order to survive.
Of course we must.
There hasn't been a car yet, not a single car.
Yeah, I noticed.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought of it at all.
What?
Just like the license plates.
What thought of what? What, that people don't drive cars anymore?
Well, then how would they move from one place to another? On horseback?
It's possible.
Progress goes forward, DeCruz, not backward. No, that's not what I meant.
Say, what's eating you anyway?
What's happened these past 100 years? Think of it.
I don't want to think of it. Why should I? What's the difference?
But what if there was a war? What if they dropped a bomb? What if this highway stretches to...
To what?
Stretches to nothing. To nothing at all.
Hey, Professor, you don't sound like yourself, Mr. Big-time plans. That don't sound like you at all.
Maybe there isn't any town up ahead.
Hey, knock it off, Farwell.
Maybe there aren't any people.
I told you to knock it off.
You're a frightened little man, aren't you, Mr. DeCruz? You've always been a frightened little man.
I said...
It's because you're so greedy. You have no appreciation of irony, none at all. And wouldn't that be the irony of all ironies? To walk until our hearts burst, carrying all this gold.
Yeah? Take a gander at that.
What are you babbling about?
That's a plane. Hey, look down here.
It's merely a silver speck in the sky. It could be a flying craft of some sort, but of course the pilot didn't see us. If it had a pilot, a satellite perhaps, passing over...
That was no satellite. I saw it, Farwell, and that's all I need to know. It's a sign.
A sign of what?
The world's still out there. Sure it is. And that means there's a city up ahead. We're gonna make it, buddy. We're gonna make it after all. Come on, let's keep moving.
Water first.
Sure, water. Well, what are you looking at? You got your own canteen.
Yeah, of course I do, yeah.
Hey, take it easy, Professor. Better make it last. That's all we got now. 2 canteens.
We'll ration it.
Yeah, sure we will. I figured it's just about enough to get us where we're going. All the way back to civilization. Just like you said, Professor. Just like you always said. Too bad we don't have nothing to eat tonight. The fire will keep us warm, though.
I thought I told you to bring the provisions.
I only had room for a couple of freeze-dried packs. But you need to add water, and we don't have any water to spare.
Well, at least you know how to start a fire.
Didn't I tell you? I used to be a Boy Scout.
Oh, you were never a Boy Scout, Mr. DeCruz. They'd have thrown you out.
Hey, that's no way to talk, seeing as how we're partners.
Soon to be very wealthy partners.
We could go into business. Call it the Rip Van Winkle Company.
If it's all the same to you, DeCruz, I've got plans of my own.
I know. For a life of leisure. Well, we're sure gonna have that, even with inflation.
Oh, beyond question. If there is one constant in the world, it's gold. Currencies come and go, but there's never been an adequate supply of precious metals. The course of history changed because of gold, the only irreducible commodity.
How much do you think our stash is worth now?
Oh, that's hard to say, but whatever the currency, gold retains its value. Scarcity, DeCruz, that's what makes it valuable. And there's never been enough to satisfy human greed.
We better get some shut-eye.
Yes.
Funny, I'm not even sleepy. I had plenty of that already.
Oh, we need to preserve our strength. But first, another ration of water. We're seriously dehydrated. I can't recall ever being so thirsty.
Yeah, me too.
Wait. Well, where's my canteen?
On your belt, same as mine.
No, it's not there. I must have left it behind when we stopped this afternoon.
Now, that's tragic, Mr. Farwell. That's just about the saddest story I've heard all day.
I must have water, Cruz. I need it desperately.
Water, Mr. Farwell? Why, I believe there's some water around here somewhere. Yeah, sure. In my canteen.
Okay, give it to me.
Okay. For a price.
What are you talking about?
1 drink, 1 bar of gold.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Hey, that's the price.
I continue to underestimate you, DeCruz. You're quite an entrepreneur.
Ain't it the truth, Farwell?
Quickly, please, please.
That's enough.
Wait, I'm not finished.
1 drink, 1 bar of gold. That's the going rate today. It may go up tomorrow. I haven't checked the market. But for tonight, it's 1 for 1. You better lie down and get your rest. We got a long day ahead of us.
Oh, what's that?
The sound of the world, Professor. The strong feeding on the weak. Same as always.
Wait.
What's the matter, Farwell? You pooping out again?
We need water.
Already? You had a good night's sleep, and we only been on the road a few hours.
I can't go on without water.
You ain't even carrying that much weight. I got most of it in my pack now. You're getting old, Farwell. Be a shame if you didn't make it to the next town so you can enjoy your share. What's left of it.
Please.
Hey, look up in the sky.
What?
You know what that is? It's buzzards. Getting closer. Pretty hungry, I'd say.
I must have water.
Sure. I got about a quarter of a canteen left.
You sadist.
That's mighty good. Not cold, of course, but it's nice and wet.
Nothing but a sadist.
The rate of exchange has changed a little bit, Farwell. Now it's 2 bars of gold for 1 swallow.
Worse than a sadist. A tormentor. An extortionist.
If you don't want it.
Yes, all right.
Glad to see you're still a smart man. I'll just put these in my bag.
No, DeCruz, those are yours.
What?
The ones in my bag. I'll hold on to these 2.
That's all you got left? 4? Well, aren't you the generous one?
Just give me my water.
As soon as I pick up your bag, I guess I can carry both from now on.
I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm afraid you'll have to bend down and get it.
No problem.
No problem at all. How do you like the gold now, Mr. DeCruz? The feel of it against your skull. Oh, sorry you won't be alive to carry it any further. I'll do that for you. For both of us. And now, time to go. According to the map, less than 1 more mile. Not too heavy. I'll come back for them. Now, only what I can lift. 2 miserable bars. One, but still worth a small fortune.
I don't know why we have to leave the city, George.
A simple drive in the country, dear.
The country?
Well, the only undeveloped land within range. I thought it'd be nice to get away. If only for an hour or 2, but...
But this is desert land. No one goes here anymore.
That's exactly my point. Don't you ever want to get off the beaten track and do something that's not so safe, so arranged?
Not really. We have everything we need in the city complex.
All right then, dear. We'll turn around. But the sunsets are beautiful here.
Well, I suppose it's all right.
You don't mind?
For a while. Just keep the dome top sealed. The climate outside is ghastly.
I suppose that's why it was called Death Valley. Once the sun goes down, though, the temperature should drop.
George, look! Lying in the road! Oh, is that an animal?
Good Lord. I think it's a man. Hey, buddy, are you...
Mister...
He's alive!
I'll call the med unit.
Mister, there's gold here in my hand. Real gold. I'll give it to you if you drive me into town.
Sure, fella.
If you give me water, I must have water.
I've got some in the Ion car. I'll bring it to you.
Don't leave me here.
No, I won't leave you.
This is solid gold. 0.999. I swear it is. I want you to have it, and there's more nearby. I tell you where. You can have it all if you just give me some water.
Poor guy. Poor guy. I wonder where you came from.
Who is it, George? What's the matter with him?
Some old tramp. That's who he was.
Oh.
Did you call the med unit?
Yes.
Oh, then they'll pick him up.
Now, shouldn't we wait?
And no reason to. They can take our statement over the Tri-Vid.
What's that?
Gold. That's what he said it was. He wanted to give it to me in exchange for a ride into town.
Gold? What in the world was he doing with gold?
Oh, I don't know, off his rocker. I guess anybody walking in the desert would be. Can you imagine? He offered that as if it were worth something.
Well, it was worth something once, wasn't it? Didn't people use gold as money?
Well, sure, 100 years ago, before they found a way to manufacture it. I'll keep it as a souvenir. Worth a couple cents anyway.
I don't want any more clutter in the house. Please, George, let me toss it.
Oh, all right.
Can we go now? I don't feel well.
Of course, dear.
Final scene. Final act for 4 Rip Van Winkles, whose lives were a protracted cheat and who ultimately had to die in precisely the same way they lived, chasing an idol across the hot, yielding sand of a miserable, valueless, and preordained life. Messrs. Farwell, Urbay, Brooks, and De Cruz, now bleached dry in the hot sun, and just as worthless as the gold bullion they built a shrine to. A lesson to remember in the Twilight Zone.
Hi, this is Carl Amari, producer of the Twilight Zone radio dramas. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our official website at twilightzoneradio.com, where you'll get the latest news and information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas. Plus, at twilightzoneradio.com, you can digitally download 3 free episodes or any of our episodes for only $1.95 each. In this age of ever-changing technology, we've decided to make these episodes instantly available to you by making the Twilight Zone radio dramas a digital download-only series. This means that this series will no longer be offered on CD. The CD collections at our website are now being offered while supplies last at buy one, get one free. So be sure to get your favorites before they're sold out. Be sure to visit us often, and I'll see you in the zone.
The Rip Van Winkle Capers, starring Tim Kazurinsky, with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and based on a script by Rod Serling. Heard in the cast were Richard Hensel, Doug James, Peter DeFaria, Roderick Peoples, Norm Woodell, Meg Thalken, and Turk Muller. To learn more about the Twilight Zone radio dramas and to obtain audio cassettes and CDs of these programs, visit our website at twilightzoneradio.com. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Roger Wolski for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking.
Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe.